Welcome back to a very special edition of the Warner House, brought to you by Experian. I have here a very, very special guest to me, man. This is growing up. I was the big brother in my house, right? I had a little brother, little sister, and this is like my big brother right here, Mr. Kyle Van Noy. Give a round of applause, Kyle Van Noy, everybody. Yes, yeah,
Woo!
KVN, two-time Super Bowl champion.
Uh-huh.
All right, and now newly minted. First time Pro Bowler, 11-year NFL vet, KVN. I thought you was you're 11. You're 11 for you.
Yeah,
Now you're 10.
relax. Relax, bro.
Mm, If anything, I thought you was in 10, bro.
That's how I
11.
was looking. That's how I was looking. Okay.
Listen, to be honest, 10 plus is all the exact same. So
Agreed.
you know what I mean,
Unless your buddy Calais Campbell, he's like what, almost 20 now?
dude, I seen him at the with Miami when we went and played them. I'm looking at him. I'm like, dude, how are
No
you still
way.
playing?
No way.
Oh my goodness, that's
Still
insane.
playing
I
at
thought
a
it was
high
only
level
quarterback.
too. Still like making plays and being
Yeah,
impactful.
yeah.
It's impressive. Nah.
Yeah, no, he's one of the best of all time. You're gonna get that gold
No, I
jacket.
appreciate it. The
Well,
intro
brother.
was great, bro. The intro was good. I like it.
Hey man, listen, I'm trying my best, bro. This whole podcast realm, it's all new to me. I know you've been doing this for about what, 3, 4 years, five
You're
years,
doing good though.
6
You're
years?
doing good. You guys have it all done A1. It's all A1.
But the thing that people connect with the most is that me and my wife, we literally sit there in the chair and we're both mad about doing a podcast at 10 o'clock at night. And so we just sit there, we sit there and we ramble and we and we get after
Yeah,
each other, and
I
then
love it.
that's what the
Okay,
people love to
okay,
see.
one thing. It's not like a Hayden thing, right? It's like in the household, what's one thing that your wife gets bugged about that you do? For example, like Coach Caldwell, Jim
Hmm.
Caldwell, had
Hmm.
like a huge like an argument with his wife or about the toilet paper, which way the toilet paper needed to
Hmm.
be, like up on
Mm,
top pull or
mm,
underneath to pull
mm,
underneath. Are you a top
mm.
guy or a
That's not even a
yeah?
question. That's not even a question. It's the top. The top is the only way to do it. Because why in the world would you want the toilet paper coming underneath where you now have to take both hands? You have to take both hands to now rip the toilet paper instead of just getting one clean swipe
I
over the
love
top.
it. That's a great answer. That's a Pro Bowl all pro answer right there. That was methodical. He saw it, he read it, he hit the hole.
Oh, stop
Love
it.
it.
Stop it. Stop it. But let's see. What did my wife get mad at me about? She get mad at me about a lot of things. But I don't know, like if I just leave the trash in the trash can too long and I need to go ahead and go take that thing out and I'm procrastinating. She gets mad at me about procrastinating things.
Mm.
That's one of my
Me
weaknesses
too.
is, is
I'm in there
procrastination.
too. Like I'll get it.
Yeah.
It gets done when it gets done.
So of course, like she wants me to just be proactive and like take
Yeah,
initiative, just like all women want their significant others to do. Take
I
initiative. That's
love
all.
that.
What about Marissa? What about Marissa?
Right. She's honestly, feel very blessed. She doesn't, but right now it'd probably be water bottles. I'm a big water bottle guy. I leave water bottles out.
Mm,
Um,
like plastic, or are you talking
Plastic,
about like
yeah. While the trash is just like
okay.
right there, I'll leave it on top, instead of
Mm,
just
mm.
putting it in the recycle bin that's right there.
Right,
I
right,
leave
right.
it up on
Right,
top.
right, right.
So I got to take that L.
See, we got to be better about recycling. I'll tell you that. We got two bins, and they both for whatever they both call
Hmm.
trash. That's the name on both of them. It ain't.
Yeah.
There's no recycling.
Uh, that's funny.
You need to invest in like a hydro jug or something, and stop using all this
You're
plastic.
right. But I feel like I'm saving the planet by, putting it in recycling, though.
Absolutely not. No, you are part of the problem. Stop using up all that
Dang.
plastic. They gonna make it either way,
Yep,
huh?
yep,
Like they might as well use it if they making it.
yep.
You might as well use it either way,
Yep.
huh?
I'm sponsored by Bounty. I love Bounty paper towels.
Bounty,
Bounty.
come on, quicker, picker, upper. Hey, no free shout out. No free shout
That's
out.
true. That's true. That's hilarious.
So the off season just started, and you know, First of all, I haven't been able to get your take on what happened to end your guys' season. We both, well, first of all, I had a horrible end of my season because we didn't even get to go to the playoffs. But you guys had every hope and aspiration that this was your year. Lamar, MV3, soon to be the third time MVP. Talk a little bit about, how first of all, the how good you guys felt going into the playoffs and then ultimately going into that Buffalo game, how that unfolded.
Ooh, those are good questions. I think anytime you have a team like you have and you don't win the Super Bowl, it's not a good feeling. Anytime you
Hmm.
have the aspiration, because let's be honest, there's some teams that have no chance, and I'm not going to say who they are, but like guys aren't
Hmm.
stupid, like
Hmm.
and we were one of the teams that had a chance, and so
Yeah.
when you have a chance and you don't reach, you feel like it's a failure, and
Hmm.
I don't want to say a failure can be a bad thing, right? It can be a motivator. It can be a lesson you learn. There's, I guess, in my career, people, because I've played on multiple teams, they consider me a journeyman or a failure at multiple spots, but they have no idea the inner workings, contracts, just how things work out. And,
Hmm.
it's just how it goes. But to me, I feel like it's a success. It's different than what yours is. Hopefully, you play a bunch of more years and you get to stay with the Niners, but not everybody gets that opportunity. I was just
Hmm.
talking to Garrett Bowles. He was on FaceTime with somebody that was next to me, and he could have made a lot more money probably hitting free agency, but signed another extension with the Broncos to
Hmm.
eventually retire a Bronco. Not everybody has that
Hmm.
opportunity to do that, but at the same time,
Hmm.
he's also been in a losing program for a while there. So it's
Hmm.
kind of
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
there's there's good things and
It's
bad
whatever
things.
you want out of
Yes.
it. What do you want out of your journey? Because some guys they go and they chase the bread. Like for Garrett, he could have easily hit free agency and probably got the big,
Yeah.
big bag. I mean, I'm sure he's still making really good money with
Yep.
Denver. But then, some guys they're like, hey, I want to stay put with the team that has believed in
Mm-hmm.
me and I know my way around.
Yep.
That's another thing. Like people don't
Can't put
understand
money
like
on
how
that.
big of a change it is to uproot your family, go somewhere else, join a whole new team, learn a whole new
Yep.
system, learn your way
The
around
whole
that city.
thing.
It's a lot that goes into it. It's not just, oh, I'm gonna go play for the X team and then we're just gonna go do it. Like there's a lot of I mean, you know
Yeah.
it obviously, you know it
I've
best.
I,
I mean, speak to that a little bit. Like you've obviously grown in this thing because you and Marissa came into the league together, and then now you've grown your
yeah.
family, and different things have changed over the years. Like, what does that look like as you continue to grow and get older?
Man, yeah, for those that don't know, I was drafted 2014 second round by the Lions. Played there for 2 seasons and a couple games, then was traded to the New England Patriots, where I played, I call it 4 seasons, ended up winning 2 Super Bowls with them, being part of their last dynasty. Then signed a huge contract for the Dolphins, be their franchise player, captain, all that. That lasted only 1 year. Then got fired, and then went back to New England, where I played again, made the playoffs again, and then got fired from that gig from Bill, and then went to the Chargers, played there for a year, and then ended up with the Ravens in 2023 and have been there for 2 years. And then I have 1 year left on my deal with them. So, yeah, I've been around. I've been around. I've known some things. I've seen some things. We moved five. We moved 6 times in 5 years. That was brutal. And then
Hmm.
this last time, I was
Hmm.
like, we ain't. I was like, we're not doing that anymore. So we do the long
Hmm.
distance thing, which makes
Hmm.
Marissa. She's a beast, bro. She travels every weekend on red eyes, and then she's
Hmm.
back to the kids like it's nothing. It's so impressive. Like yeah,
Dog.
she's a dog for sure.
Yeah, give her
Yeah,
flowers, man. Like I mean, this is a Warner House. Obviously, my second half ain't with me right now on this interview, but just the behind the scenes of what our wives are doing, like especially with children and all that they get put through in a
Yeah.
season. And I mean, I can't even imagine all that moving for her, especially with little ones.
Yeah,
It's a
it was
lot.
beastie from 2020. Yeah, 2020. I moved from Miami. We had our house in California and Boston, so those were two moves. Then 2021
Hmm.
moved all our stuff to California. Then moved because we wanted to be closer down to Orange County. We sold our house and moved. Thanks to the Kerrigan family. Shout out to Ryan. He deserves a free shout out for having us in his home. Awesome, awesome place.
Hmm.
And then ended up
Hmm.
moving after that back to Utah, and then another one to Baltimore in there. So just a ton of moving, and she's been awesome. She's been a beast, and she's enjoyed all of it, even some that were bad or good. She's honestly been like the best person to be a co-pilot with. I always tell people, please marry a co-pilot, don't marry a passenger. That's my advice.
That's great
Yeah,
advice too.
everybody knows the
That's
difference
amazing
between a
advice.
co-pilot and a passenger. You know.
I know, trust me. Yeah, I've seen it. Obviously, I don't speak on other people's
Yeah.
relationships, but it's apparent, the ones that work and that they don't. I mean, I know your guys' story of how you guys met and everything, but you want to kind of talk about how that
Yeah,
even came about.
obviously my side's gonna be way different than hers, right? Like it always is.
As is always,
We
yeah.
met when I was just finished my freshman year of college. So I would have been,
Brigham Young.
at BYU, I would have been 19 and she was 18. She just started her college and I just finished my freshman year. And we met at a mutual friend's birthday party where I acted like I was the host. I didn't really know who it was at the time, but I saw her right away, and I was like, I jumped on it, and I was just like, hey, like the food's over here, drinks are over here, like give her the lay of the land, just so I got my in real quick, try to like I own the
Hmm.
place,
Hmm.
and so that's when
Hmm.
we first started, and then dated on and off all through college, and then came down to it, either was going to go into the league a single man, or let's do it. And I knew what I wanted. I wanted a family. I always wanted a family, and I saw my co-pilot, saw that she was going to saw the future. She's going to be a great mother, all
Hmm.
that good stuff, and
Hmm.
pulled the trigger.
Hmm.
Haven't looked back since.
Hmm.
And we're going to celebrate our 11th year in June. Pretty crazy. Yeah.
Ooh,
Uh,
that's a round of applause right
yeah.
there. What'd you guys do for your tenure then? What'd you
10 year.
do for 10?
Ooh,
That's a big
yeah.
one. 10 is
It is
big.
big. We did Turks and Caicos. Yeah.
That boy got
We was
money.
doing it big, big chilling. It was nice. It
Yeah,
was really nice.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
probably one of our favorite places in the world is Turks and Caicos.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
really?
awesome.
Is that good?
It's just romantic, right? It's just you and
Okay.
your significant other. The beaches are good. It's
Yeah.
quiet. It's just
Uh,
romantic. Everything's a vibe. Everything's like a good vibe.
yeah.
Yeah, it's up
Hmm.
there. You
Hmm.
would love it.
I okay. I haven't. We haven't gone. We've thought about going, but
Do it. It's worth it.
we hear like it's like a big party situation. It ain't like
No,
that.
I mean you can find anything
Okay.
anywhere, right?
You can find
It's just
anything.
like
Okay. Okay. I like
BYU,
that.
right? You can find anything and
Yeah.
everything if you
See.
wanted.
Come on.
We don't know anything about
See,
that, but
we don't know nothing about no partying at Brigham Young now.
no,
You better cut it out.
no.
What doesn't surprise me is you over there talking about, yeah, I was acting like I was a hoe to the party and I jumped on it. You were always the big dog on campus from the moment
Stop.
you stepped foot on that
No.
campus. All right. You were the big time recruit. I mean, you obviously it was a unique experience for you coming onto to onto campus because it wasn't just, oh, play my senior year, sign the papers, and then go play as a
Yeah.
freshman. It was a little bit of a different
Yep.
path. So
Yeah.
go ahead and talk to that a
Yeah.
little
Put
bit.
me on the spot, huh? You want to bring up my criminal charges?
No. We ain't got to go
No,
all that
I
like
just
that.
messing.
But it was a unique experience for you. And people, I mean, obviously, we're gonna have a lot of BYU fans watching this and 49er people who don't know your
Yeah.
story. But let me just say, this was one of the best players to ever come through BYU,
Oh, let's look
regardless
at
of
you.
defenders, offensive players. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I don't gotta, toot your horn. Like you was that guy. And so I'd obviously, you don't need to sit here and be like, yeah, I was that guy. But like people need to kind of know how that unfolded and came
Yeah,
about. You know what I'm saying?
that's
Because
good. That's fair.
yeah.
So my senior year, if I could go back in time, I would have graduated early just to get in school because I felt like I had idle time, and everybody knows idle time's the worst time.
hmm From from
Yep,
Nevada.
from Nevada. So I grew up in Reno, Nevada, 24/7. Or we call it 27/4 because we feel like it's open on steroids all the time from those that are from there. Vegas is 24/7. Reno's 27/4. You just
27-4.
gotta go
Okay.
to go, and then you'll be like, okay, I
Yeah.
get what KB's trying
Uh-huh.
to say.
Uh-huh.
But I got in trouble. I
Uh-huh.
got arrested 2 times my senior year, and then was suspended and was I couldn't go to school until the winter semester. So I had a gray shirt the fall semester of BYU in 2009. So I ended up going, to Washington to get away that summer. Um, I worked for Taylor Barton, who is a big time quarterback for Washington, and worked his camps, and really enjoyed it. It was super fun, and just kind of
hmm
became a homebody then, and kind of just was dedicated. Like, hey, was getting recruited then at that time by Oregon State and Washington, super heavy. They were like, you can play right now. Just sign the
hmm
dotted line. You
hmm
didn't go to school there. You can just forget all that and just come here. We'll take care of you at
hmm
Washington. I believe Sarkisian was there at the time. So, and they were a solid
Hmm.
program, good team, whatever.
Yeah.
But
hmm
just didn't make sense for me. I was just like, I'm pretty loyal. I kept my words, my word. I told them, and ended up then going to BYU, and it's pretty funny. I didn't start my first 3 games, or I didn't even play, and I
hmm
like had a meeting with Mendenhall at the time, and was just like, bruh, like I've literally done everything you've asked me to do. I've I've literally
Uh,
ran more than anybody, as a freshman.
hmm
I did all your little roles, and, all everything. I've done any kind of punishment you can think of, I've done and more.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
was like, it's time to, it's either I'm leaving because I'm not getting an opportunity, which I know I'm better than you're playing dudes that aren't even on scholarship in front of me. Like, what are we doing?
What are we
Yeah,
doing?
what are we
Yeah. What are we
doing? And
doing?
then
Yeah.
finally, they fired the D coordinator the following week, and then I went
hmm
into the next game, started, and never looked back.
Do you ever feel like you don't have control over your credit or finances? That's exactly why you need the Experian app. Getting your finances in order starts with your credit, and Experian is the credit expert. Use the free Experian app to check your FICO score, improve your credit scores with Experian Boost, and get matched with credit cards based on your credit profile. You can even let Experian find and cancel unwanted subscriptions for you. No matter where you are in your financial journey, you always want to find ways to save time and money. Experian provides you with the tools to stay on top of your credit and help you save. A lot of hard work goes into getting ready for a big game. With Experian, you don't have to work extra hard because they do the work for you so you can enjoy your life on or off the field. Let Experian be the one-stop shop for your financial health. Download the free Experian app from the App Store today and start taking control of your credit. Experian Boost results may vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible for savings. See Experian.com for details. All right, Kyle, want to do some rapid fire questions about spending your NFL check, which I know, hey, boy, I wish I could have a little piece of that NFL check you got, boy. So let me run some topics by you and have you decide if it's something you spend money on or if you just save it. Brought to you by Experian. Let's see. Hyperbaric chambers. This is before you answer these. By the way, I'm gonna go ahead and get my little two
These are
piece before
tough.
you give
I
your
know you're
answer.
gonna say yes
These
to this.
hyperbaric chambers are absolute yes for
Yeah.
me. This is something I started incorporating a couple years back. The high end medical grade hard hyperbaric chamber. I can't afford that, but maybe getting a little one for the crib or something. I would enjoy
Yeah.
that.
Now, if I was probably younger, I would say yes, but now that I'm not, I don't care. So I'll pass. I'll save my money.
Bro, you don't care about feeling good?
No, I do. I just have my methods now, right?
You have your
I have
own
my own
regimen.
regiment.
You have
Like
your
if
own
I was,
you have your Dagman
I
method.
do. He does. He deserves a shout out. David Daglow. That's the
I
guy.
know.
Yeah,
We didn't say nothing
he's
about
a
him.
big reason why I've stayed healthy.
Yeah,
Huge
yeah.
reason.
Dang, well, we missed that one a little bit, but hey,
It's
okay.
funny.
So hyperbaric chamber is a no for you. You're gonna save on
Yep.
that. Normatec boots.
I'm gonna,
I got me a pair.
yeah.
I had to
See,
invest.
I'm gonna pass again. I'm hot tub, cold tub, hot tub, cold tub, hot tub. I'm good.
That's it.
That's it. And sauna. But the thing with me is, I get 4 to 5 massages a week.
There's seven days of the
Uh
week,
huh.
and you're telling me you get 4 to 5 massages
Yep.
a week.
4 to 5. That's the difference maker right there.
Hey, enough said. I obviously I'm
Yeah,
missing out
people are
on
like, "Man, what
longevity
do you
here.
do?" And I'm like, "I legit get 4 to 5 a week." And people are like, "See, I don't know if I can do that." And it's a grind. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like we're grind. It's not
Ooh,
like a feel good. This is fun. Like nah, these are not fun massages.
you tear the tissue up like that 4 to 5 times a week?
No, no.
No callus, no callus.
I want to feel. I
We
want to
breaking up
feel
all that
good. I
callus.
want to feel good. I'm an edge rusher now. I
Hey,
gotta feel good coming around
yeah,
the
I know.
edge.
You're right. Yeah, yeah, you ain't lying.
Yeah.
You was doing it. You was
Uh,
doing it damn well. We didn't even talk about your damn Pro Bowl season. All right, well, hey, we'll get it next time,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why did that come on
so you
here?
basically, yeah, literally, I know. God, I'm just completely blowing
No,
it.
this is good.
Copeland sauna.
Oh yeah.
You obviously
Yeah.
said yes to that.
Yep.
Okay. Rolex Day Date. Holy moly!
Woo.
Nah, look. This ain't a day date. This ain't a day date. This is some Mariner day
Okay.
bit.
Honestly, I will say yes to this, right?
Ooh,
And I will say yes, depending
go
on
ahead.
what type of contract it is. If it's 2 or 3, yes. If it's number one, no. You still got to earn it. But
Okay.
if you do, I do think it's a fairly good investment. And it also is a good conversation when it comes down to business. When you're in business meetings and you are walking in and people want to see a confident slash classy, and they're like, ooh, like he's got
Ooh,
a good
okay.
taste. Yeah, he's got a good
Oh.
taste. Now, now,
Okay.
now, if you ask me what time it is, I'm still pulling out my phone, but it look good.
Boy, you killing me, though. You killing me.
That's
You killing
hilarious.
me. Oh boy. All right. So
I
Rolex
love
Day
this.
Date
They
is a
gonna
yes.
love this.
Yeah, they gonna love this boy, and that's a yes for me too. I got
Mm,
me one over in the drawer.
let's go.
No, no. Oh, actually, I take that back. I don't have one. Don't come steal me. Don't come steal from me.
Oh, that's
Personal
crazy
chef.
though. That's been crazy. That's
Yeah, that's why
crazy.
I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
for real, Camp. Do not say that I got a Rolex Day Date.
Yeah.
All right, we not doing that.
Yeah.
But anyway, personal chef.
No.
Explain.
I don't think you need a personal chef.
You don't need it. You don't need any of these things. Do you?
I
Do
would
you
I
feel like
would
there's
There is
value in
definitely
having one?
value to having one for sure. I
Ooh.
mean, I got a dad
Woo.
bod right now, so I
Mm-hmm.
deserve one right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll say yes.
Mm-hmm.
You made a valid point. Yes.
Exactly. You don't need any of these things,
Yeah.
brother. You just need I don't know, a little foam
Yeah.
roller if you really wanted to do
Fred's
that
got
little
an
Tom Brady
8 pack.
TB12
Yeah,
pliability.
Fred's got an 8 pack. I got a 1 pack. I got a keg.
Okay, we're not gonna say I have an 8 pack. I don't got all that, but I'm not gonna have a dad bod anytime soon. Yeah, yeah. See, look, this is where it starts to get out of control to end the segment. So how come? Why do you think the reason? Because you said you got drafted in the second round to the Lions, which obviously wasn't an ideal destination
Yeah,
spot. But
that's
like, why do you
crazy.
feel like you fell? Why do you think you fell out of the first round? Because based on
Yeah,
all the plays I'd have never seen,
yeah.
them highlights of you going crazy in Ole Miss and all the home games and all this other stuff, like why you think it wasn't a first round pick?
That's a good question. From what I was told is I didn't run a very good 40, which I ended up finding out that I had like 5 tears in my body that I needed to get surgery on. So that was one of the issues.
What was your 40
It
time?
was like a 4.7, very, very slow. Like, and it wasn't like what
Hmm.
you saw on tape isn't what that was. And like, me and you happen to have the
Right.
same agent, and we were just like, bro, like
Hmm.
something's wrong. Like, I tested, I did
Right.
the testing
Right.
with Capretta, our guy, and it was not that. You know what I mean? Capretta was mad at me. I'll never forget.
Did you put weight on for like the combine and all that, or were you
No,
about the same, or it was the same
yeah,
kind
I
of
was
thing?
just it was. I just think it was injuries, bro. I was injured going in
Yeah.
there, and just it. I just
Hmm.
didn't have a good. I just didn't have a good anything, honestly. And
Yeah.
for me, it
Yeah.
was like, and then my senior year, I missed. I think K-pop told me I missed like 15 to 20 sacks.
Mm.
I only had 4.5. So I went from like 13 to 4.5, and people are like, what the hell happened?
What happened?
And
Yeah.
if you look at the tape, I was just missing. I just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
dropped the money. And then
Dropped
the
it.
last thing they said is I was a tweener. At that
Yep.
time, when I first got in the league, everybody loved these long edge players. Von
Hmm.
Miller was the first one to be like opening the gates for guys that were a little more skilled up, a little more quick twitch,
Hmm.
and weren't
Hmm.
just bulldozers, right? And so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
to me is why I wasn't necessarily focused on or that I missed out on the first round. But guess what? It doesn't matter how you start; it's how you finish.
It's how you
Yeah.
finish, Pro
Stop
Bowl. Yes,
it.
sir. The-
Stop it. Hey, but I always bring up your case too, though. Like I always bring up, this is a good conversation. I always bring up your case where
Let's
I
hear it.
always tell people like Fred should have went higher than the third round. But man, oh man,
No, that's not
hold on.
correct.
Yes, it is like athletically
Go
because
ahead.
you
Go
got
ahead.
okay. You
Well, no,
can't
I'll get my piece. I'll get my piece. I'll let you go and give
you
you. I'll
can't
get my piece.
always look at teams now. Adafe Owe didn't even
Hmm.
have a sack. I don't even think at Penn
Hmm.
State and went first round, had 10 plus sacks
Hmm.
this year for the Ravens. So like
Hmm.
you can't strictly look at it as a standpoint and say, hey, look at his stats, blah, 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 all those things. That's a whole different
Hmm.
conversation. But athletically
Hmm.
and the game changing plays that Frederico Warner put on at BYU is up there with anybody that played linebacker coming out his year. And so that's why
Well.
I always say, look at the tape. And I finally
Hmm.
realized not many people watch the tape like that. But to
Yeah.
add to what I was saying is what I like to bring you up is I always tell
Mm.
people, please, when you're going through the process, please pray you get drafted by an organization that has a plan for
Come
you,
on.
where they
Come on.
know where they're going to put you. The same thing like
Hmm.
Our guy Puka Nakua. I was
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
happy he went to the Rams. I was like, boy's going to ball out. And
Hmm.
sure enough, he's balling out.
Sure enough, dude, in his he's only in his second year, and he's over here
Woo,
balling like he's literally their
he's the
guy now. Like
guy.
who he when he came in, Cooper Cup was coming off of triple crown, bro. Like this dude MVP type status. And not to say that Coop has dropped off at all. I'm just saying like Puka's come in and with Coop dealing with some of the
And
injuries that he
maybe we
dealt
should
with.
say it
Puka,
that Niners Ram thing. Maybe we should give Cooper.
no, 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 no. Yeah, we're not gonna. We don't. I don't even want to give Puka too much love now.
That's
But
hilarious.
it just goes to show you how important it is to go to the right place. It ain't. It's not always about trying to chase the bag,
Yes.
chase the. I want to be the highest pick possible. I'm glad. Listen, I appreciate your words. I do. Like the funniest thing about you saying that. Uh, in our exit meetings, obviously we had a little extra time. We're not prepping for no playoffs or nothing, so we got a little extra time with the coaches. And my coach Johnny Holland, he had showed. one of the rookies, or no, one of our second year players, D Winters, he showed him my like Senior Bowl clips, my combine clips. Like they have all this documented on their laptops where they can just pull it up and show guys like, all right, this is how Fred looked coming out. This was his first year, blah blah blah. And he's telling me this, and I'm like, wait, what? I haven't even seen any of those clips. I haven't seen anything of like the pro day of like combine. You can search up a couple things like on YouTube. They have like a couple of the little snippets, but I didn't see any of the senior. I didn't get to see any of the Senior Bowl tape. So I go to him I'm like, hey, pull that up. I want to see like I want to see what I was looking like back then. I'm sure I was balling. Boy, I go back and I look at that. It looks so poo. Kyle, I'll tell you what, boy. I'm looking at this tape. I'm thinking, if I'm a GM or a scout, I'm there's no way I'm taking this guy
Yeah.
based on what I know
Yeah.
now. But the thing I'll say is, to your point, there's certain things that you got to look for, and I could really go about this a whole bunch of
You
different ways.
should
I
you
was
should
listening
talk
to
about it because people don't measure this in here and don't measure
boy.
this.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I know for a fact you can never. I'm not going to say ever in the history of time. I know I'm not that just all just
You're all
legendary
pro
of
Hall
a
of
mindset.
Famer. Here we go. Here we
No, 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 no,
go.
no, not even that. I'm talking about my mindset is what has allowed me to achieve the things I've achieved.
Yeah.
I have been, God gave me gifts in terms, athletic ability and these sort of things, but I'm not going to sit here and say that my athletic ability touches even over half of the league and these guys that come in. But the thing that was always going to separate me is the mindset, is the processing speed, is the internal drive and fire that burns within me every single day to achieve what I want to achieve, right? So, like all these little things go into it. And I know for a fact that when I sat down with our special teams coach, Coach Hightower, with Robert Sala, with D'Amico Rhines, and they're asking me questions, they're talking to me, and they kind of could sense a little bit. I didn't even know at the time. I've been dragged through the mud the whole draft process of guys, coaches, scouts telling me like, nah, yeah, you're kind of soft, like, or we don't see you as playing stack backer, or we don't really know where to put you and this is that. They're telling me everything I can't do, and now I'm basically just dog water. And so when I'm sitting there with Sala and them, and they're telling me like, yeah, we do see you in our scheme, and we think you do this well, and I'm like, okay, like now I'm starting to get a little confidence. Like, yeah, no, you're right. Like I can do these things, and I can be a physical player, and yada yada. It's just that the things that you're asked to do in a certain program may not highlight those attributes that you could have with another team when you make it to the next level, right? BYU is an outstanding program, but it's not the SEC, it's
Nope.
not Alabama, it's not LSU.
But
You know what I'm
for me,
saying?
it was Coach Papinga. I had Hal before, and Hal didn't do it for me. Me and him probably still beef to this day. If I saw him, I would tell him to kick rocks, right? But hey, K-pop came in and he literally gave
Yeah,
me the green light. It
yeah,
was kind of like what
hmm,
Mark Jackson did to Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. Like sat him down and
yeah,
was like, "Look, you two are
uh,
the best backcourt ever in the history of the game before
hmm,
they even were." But gave them the green
hmm,
light and the confidence. The same thing that Robert Sala and D'Amico Ryan said to you. It does wonders.
hmm,
So to
hmm.
my thing to like go counter, be the devil's advocate of what you just said, can you imagine being in my position and have a coach tell me to my face, Kyle, I think you're a really good football player, but we have no idea where to play you. Uh,
Oh no. Horrible
2
feeling.
years saying that.
Horrible
I'm
feeling.
like,
I
when
know.
they, oh man,
When you went to Detroit, what did they initially
they
tell
had
you? They told you you were going to play
they had
edge.
no idea.
What was the scheme? What scheme did y'all
Your
play?
scheme, shorts. It's
Oh,
the
really?
short scheme, like the get off the ball, read and
Oh,
react
yeah, yeah,
scheme,
yeah, yeah.
which is totally
But it was a four
yeah,
three. It was 4-3.
4-3. And so they
Mm,
they just paid Stephen Tolik, and then they had DeAndre Levy, who was floating around Pro Bowl, ended up being an All Pro while I was there. He was a
mm,
dog, one of my favorite players I've ever
mm-hmm,
watched go to work.
mm-hmm,
Uh, and
mm-hmm.
then I found out that I was a GM's pick because they had picked
Yeah.
Ziggy Ansah the year before, and they were like,
Mm-hmm.
"We watched so much tape of Ziggy, and you kept popping up that if I ever had the
Mm-hmm.
chance to grab you, I would. And they ended up
Mm-hmm.
trading up to
Mm-hmm.
get me to then potentially be next to DeAndre Levy. But then they ended
Mm-hmm.
up getting Terrell Austin, who came from the Ravens system, and they ran more of a 3-4 scheme. So then they traded for
Uh-huh.
Haloti, and it was going to be me on one side, Ziggy, and Haloti in the middle. But they never did
Uh-huh.
because guess who the D line coach was?
Briscoe,
Yes, sir. And he
sir.
didn't, and
Yes,
he didn't
sir.
teach that. So it was just like a
Yeah.
clash of just like not. It was just
Damn.
a crazy situation.
Bro, that is insane. So did they ever think about paying? Did they say, "Hey, let's try you at a
That's what I
sack
did.
backer"?
That's why
Oh,
I
that's what you
dropped
were
like
doing.
20 pounds. I got all the way down to like 235 and like was
Yeah.
playing cover backer. And that was not
Woo.
and this is me just
Woo.
getting to the NFL. I ain't never played off the ball. Maybe in like Pop Warner,
Right.
but in the
Hey, hey, me neither, brother.
in the
Me neither.
in the highest level, but you're also in a situation when you play middle in that, and you're also getting coached by somebody who's played in that
Yeah.
scheme that can
Correct.
tell you what to
Correct.
look at, especially when you're young.
Mm-hmm.
When you're young, to keep
Mm-hmm.
your vision like this
Mm-hmm.
until you're here. He probably kept your
Uh,
vision right here, Fred. I need you right
it's
here.
actually to be honest, I'm gonna be real. He actually told me to because I was like this, and initially I was like this. I was tunnel vision, and it was messing me up because I wasn't seeing the full picture. Anytime
Oh,
a receiver in motion, I'm not moving because I'm not even looking over here. I'm staring at the running back to see like, all right, which way is his footwork gonna go? Like, bro, when I tell you it took so long to even get the eyes right, people don't
it's
understand how
so
hard
hard.
this
It's
game
so
is.
hard. And then you have people
And
like
uh,
last night who are telling Josh Allen he stinks for not being able to throw it to Shakur. Oh man.
I'm not, listen, I ain't gonna worry about
Yeah.
that. The whole social media and people talking about football that don't know nothing about football, that those days of listening to that is over. That doesn't concern me anymore. Josh Allen, I feel bad for Josh
Why?
Allen. I do, man. I'm like, because he's an outstanding player. Is just that, hey, you got to go against that man, Thanos over there in
Not just
Kansas
him, Andy
City.
Reid and Spagnola.
Okay, we can talk about that if you want
Yeah.
to. Okay, because people think that it's always this competition of quarterback versus quarterback. That's never gonna be the case ever for the history of football. That's
I
not
always
it.
hate
Patrick
that.
Mahomes, phenomenal. Patrick Mahomes, phenomenal. All right, Tom Brady, phenomenal. These quarterbacks, Peyton Manning, they are the ones that are gotta make these big time plays in the moments that you need them to. The reason why Kansas City is a dynasty that like they are, Andy Reid, Spagnola and Patrick Mahomes.
I'll throw Chris
Okay,
Jones in
and
there
then
on defense too.
okay, Chris Jones and Travis. You know just the trio,
Yeah.
right? They've kept the trio there for a long time of Chris Jones, Travis, and Pat, and then they just taken a bunch of different cats and plugged them in all over the place. They obviously know what they need at certain spots in order to be successful and run the system that they've run, and that just goes to show you also the importance of continuity in your coaching staff
Yep.
in your organization.
Yep.
The guys who are the teams that obviously they have coaching changes every 2 years and they're changing coordinator or coordinator leaves to go get a head coaching job. It's so hard to continue to have that sustained success. And so when you can find a unique experience, a unique situation with Spagnuolo, who's already done a head coaching gig, and he's like, that's not for me. I don't want to do that. I'd rather stay
Yeah.
here, be a dominant defense, play with a guy or coach with a guy like Andy Reid, and have a quarterback in Patrick Mahomes where we have a chance every
And
year.
get paid like a head coach. But that's the thing, these
And but
organizations, we need to start getting mad at them for not poaching the coaches off the tree over there, huh?
dog, I saw Kansas City win last night, and I'm kind of numb to it at this point. But then I realized they literally been to the Super Bowl for like the past six
It's
years straight.
impressive.
The only person that's dethroned Patrick Mahomes in his house was Joe Burrow.
Tom Brady.
All right. Okay, but that's back when he was a rookie though. Like I
Second
don't even
year
count that.
player.
Tom Brady was in his prime, and Pat Mahomes was over there
Prime, he
still
was
trying
like
to.
40.
That's Tom Brady.
Oh, you're wild.
But God, Tom
Yeah.
Brady, boy, that whole thing. I mean, how was it with Tom? You was with him for how many years?
4. That's Yeah,
4
4
years.
years. That's big bro, man. Like it was so good.
Did you ever say like, hey, let's go out to lunch. Let's just chop it up
Nah,
for a little bit out at lunch.
nah.
That would have been a little bit too
I
like,
wish I would have done that more because he probably would have. It was
hmm
just like levels, you know. There's probably players that are petrified to come up to you and ask you, you know, and I and you won't admit this, but like something that happened to me this year that hasn't I since I've been in the league was I was at walkthrough. It was like a couple months ago, 2 months ago during the middle of the season, and
hmm
two young players were like, you know, he like came up to me, dapped me up. He's like, bro, he's like, you have no idea. I used to grow up playing you on Madden. And another young player right next to him heard that and he was like, hell yeah, I didn't want to be the only one to like go up to him and say that. And to me, I felt
Yeah,
honored that they would even say that, but I know
absolutely.
exactly how they felt because that's how
Yep.
I felt when I was Reggie Bush's teammate in Detroit.
Yep.
And then that's how I was when
hmm
I met Tom, was like, man, I grew up watching this dude my whole life. He
Yeah.
has no
Yeah.
idea how big of a fan I am of him. But now like
hmm
we're coworkers together. But not
Right.
only that,
Right.
like that's big bro. Like I know for a fact if I
hmm
really needed to get a hold of him and like talk to
Yeah.
him, I bet I could definitely. That's just how he is. Like I'll tell a
hmm
couple Tom Brady stories off the top of my head. One of my favorite is in New England during December. It gets rough. The sun's not coming out.
hmm
It's cold.
hmm
You got to get that mind right going to practice because you have a long walk from the locker room out to the practice fields, and so you're kind of. I was
hmm
dragging ass one day, and I was like, I need to poke the bear today, and I see Tom kind of doing his fast walk next to me, and I was like,
Uh,
Tom, you better get your shit ready today. Like, you know, just barking at him, like on our way to practice just to get me going. And
yeah.
he's barking back, like, and you can hear it echoing and whatnot. And we're just talking trash.
Uh,
And right before he's like getting quiet and I'm finally quiet, and right before like he hits the field, he was like, hey, Van Noy, there's three things in life: death, taxes, and Tom Brady on Sunday, and ran the field. I was like, oh shit, I'm in for a long day.
stop
We
it.
get to seven,
You know he did.
I swear. And we get to 7-on-7, and he starts going crazy.
It's 7-on-7. It's seven on
Yeah,
seven.
but it was like it was still
Okay, he was
it
dicing
was
y'all up
still
though. It was
dicing. It
yeah.
was still
It was icy.
dicing.
It was icy dicey.
Yes.
Icy
And
dicey.
every play is just like boom, boom, and he's letting me know. He was like,
hmm
blame Van Noy for this, boom, blame Van Noy for this, and everybody's like, all these DBs are like mad at me, like, what the hell's going on? And I was like, he was like,
Oh
tell him
man.
Van Noy, tell him what I said to you, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
hey, death, taxes, and
Uh-huh.
Tom Brady on Sunday.
You go, I
uh,
want to scream so loud. I know my wife get mad at me, boy. Oh my God, boy, that boy the
yeah,
goat.
it was
Oh my,
fire.
that fired me
Yep,
up because I know I'd be on that same type of
yep.
time. I'd have had so many battles, and it's funny too because your boy Jimmy G was over there with y'all for I don't know
Yeah,
how long Jimmy was with you before he came over with us.
he made me look good on the first day I got traded.
Oh yeah. Oh Lord,
Thank you,
listen,
Jimmy.
listen. Oh yeah. Well, hey, we won't talk about that. But as a young player, I always remember. I always loved Jimmy, man, because I listen. I ain't know nothing from nothing, but I had that dog in me from day one. Okay, it's just in you or it's not.
Facts.
And I just learned. I started playing with Quan Alexander. That it got amplified to a whole nother level because Quan is just a whole different animal when it comes to just yapping and like the energy
Hot boys,
and
right?
playing with that swag. Hot boys. Listen, he brought that. He brought our defense, our team to a whole nother level. But then he brought it out of me, and so I'd be chirping at Jimmy talking all type of mess. Like before practice would start, like we're not even in stretches yet, and I'm talking mess to him, and then we get out there in team, and we're you know how both sides kind of got to jog over to whatever field. If you're on different fields, you got to jog over, and I'm yelling at him like, yeah, we finna whoop y'all, da, 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 da. And I won't say it right now, but and then he giving it back to me, and so then it created such a competitive atmosphere, and I've carried that on through all my years. It doesn't matter what quarterback it was. Like, so that's why when Brock Purdy came into town, I had to kind of test him out. He's the scout team guy. I'm like, I don't want to be too mean to the young, the young rook, little scout teamer. And, we'll kind of give him a little something. And then all of a sudden he give me a little something back. I'm like, whoa, what the, you say a little something back. And then, so then it just became now me and Brock Purdy going after it. And so it's just so fun to see like that or to hear about those little jabs
Yo.
and like see because what type of competitive spirit, what kind of competitive fire does a guy
Oh
will
my
have within him?
gosh.
And I think that's ultimately the deciding
Yeah.
factor in a lot of these cats and if they the
And
greats or
what's
not.
crazy to me is how these coaches don't value that as much as they used
Mm-hmm.
to. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a player where like I think of like a player like Patrick Chung who
Uh.
who had that like he didn't always voice it, but like
Mhm.
he just had it.
And you don't have to.
No, for sure.
Yeah, you don't have
And
to.
he just had that where he was just a dog and so impressive to play with somebody like that who doesn't necessarily need to work out, doesn't need to lift, but you put him on a football field, buddy is balling. And just going the
Mm-hmm.
rounds with TB12 at practice, I mean, I've never been nervous going to practice like that because Bill would put you on the low lights, like you would be in front of the
Yeah.
entire room, and
Yeah.
he'd be like, "What the
Yeah.
hell?" or going crazy, like circling you, like it was insane. And
Oh
so like
boy.
you'd be
Yeah.
in that meeting walking out, guys would be so mad and they'd be ready to go to practice was like games. They were
That's how it's supposed
Yeah,
to
it
be.
was
That's how it's
intense.
supposed to
It was
be.
intense. And like the one period that I loved to do against the offense was like, I'm sure you guys do it good on good, but it was
Mm-hmm.
like 2 point plays, and you would see like the crazy like pick plays, and like it would just get
Mm-hmm.
you so ready for that game on the
Mm-hmm.
line where it's like you had been there
Mm-hmm.
a million times because you've played somebody like that where it's like
Mm-hmm.
as soon as it's like the period, and you better be ready with the call and on point because he is going to
Mm-hmm.
expose you. So it just got you ready.
Mm-hmm.
He made me such a better football player, an IQ of like when you're mugged up and
Yeah.
you're not in that stance of like you're not looking like you're
Mm-hmm.
blitzing. He'd be like, "Oh, don't
Mm-hmm.
even check the protection. We good.
He
He
not
not
coming. He
coming."
not
Oh
coming.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I've seen this already.
Yo.
My hands, just thinking about it right now, there's a little clamminess to my hands. Just thinking about the start of training
Oh.
camp, right? Like if you, I mean, maybe it is the whole NFL. I don't know how it is at all different places, but especially with our team, like when you have literally such a star-studded roster and a bunch of guys who are dogs, and like the way that we play and the way that Kyle coaches us, like there's no games being played, and like I still, even though yeah, I'm a four-time All Pro Bowl, it doesn't matter, like because I understand how this league works and how literally whatever you've done in the
Does not
past is
matter.
literally in the
Yep.
past. You gotta come to work and prove that thing every single day, every single year in and year out, playing the playoff. And so I just get so nervous even thinking about it right now because and people are like, "Damn, Fred, you get nervous?" I'm like, "Yes, I get nervous," like because you don't understand how important I want to make sure that practice tape look good because every single day you come in after training camp, the morning after, there's going to be a highlight, there's going to be a low light, coaching tape. Like you want to make sure that you want all the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
You want Coach Shanny up there talking about, God man, Fred just got us again. This man is he's just too damn good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what we do. And then the moment that you're not on that, it's like, uh-oh. Maybe we start looking for that
Yep.
replacement. He's not looking like himself.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, but the great thing about that feeling is it makes it to where when game day happens, you not even worry about nothing.
Mm,
You done already been through the fire. You done already been nervous as hell. Like you done competed so hard against the Christian McCaffreys, the Trent Williams, swiping your arms down and throwing you to the ground
mm,
at the second level. The Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk. I talk about Brandon Ayuk like it's been in the media where him and I have gotten into fights and stuff in practice. You know why? Because we both got that dog in us. Like, you want to talk about a
he's
competitive spirit?
competitive.
He
He's
got
from
that.
McQueen High
Bro,
School,
what?
baby. Alumni.
Nevada,
Alumni.
Reno. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude, like he built different, like upstairs. And then the thing that I respect most is that he has the talent and ability to match. So then you see him doing crazy things in
Yeah,
practice during training camp. And obviously he got hurt this past year, but and then the contract stuff. But the year before that, he was an all pro for a reason. He came out and became
that
a
guy.
guy. So
Yeah, that guy.
you know what I'm saying? So that guy. So and then people are like, "Oh, is he worth it?" Like, hell yeah, he worth it because
That's
you
Brock
don't
Purdy's
know
favorite.
what
Yeah, that's his favorite receiver too.
bro. He's that guy, bro.